welcome back to Everyday Whiskey, and this week we are off to the Longhorn State. Steak. Either way, we're off to the Longhorn State, aka Texas. I'm Dan.
And I'm Mike, and before we get started, I want you guys to do 3 things for us, please. If you really like our content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below of what you would like to see in our future videos, because we will definitely take suggestions. It will help us because, quite frankly, we both live busy lives, and it gets hard to come up with some stuff.
Yeah, and like our main extension to you guys is our Instagram and our Facebook and stuff like that. So this is like once a week we drop this. This is like our favorite thing to do, obviously, because it's the most hands-on thing. But so, like Mike said, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content.
Anyway, this is Texas Tuesday. Texas Takeover Tuesday.
Oh my God! All right, so let's just get right into it. Our first bottle, Mike, you brought it.
Yes.
Let's go to it.
All right, so the first bottle up is this Milam and Green.
Which they just followed us on Instagram, so thank you, Milam and Green.
Yes.
Is it Milam or Milam?
Milam. It didn't say how to pronounce it.
I
So
think
if we're butchering your name, I apologize.
I think Milam and Green sounds more.
Milam, that does sound pretty American.
But yeah, you know the history, you know the deal with this. I'm going to sit back and enjoy some whiskey.
So I do have some notes, and it's actually really cool history about this place.
We just established. I think that's it right there.
To start with, this is a predominantly female-owned and operated distillery, which is really cool.
Much like Freeland Spirits out of Oregon.
Yeah. I say predominantly because there is one gentleman that is listed on their website.
There's one dude. There's always that one dude.
To begin with, you got Marsha Milam. Marsha, I'm sorry if you ever watch this video. If I'm mispronouncing your name, please, I apologize.
You and I are really bad at names.
But Marsha Milam, she's the founder. Then you have Heather Green, hence Milam and Green. And Heather is the whiskey expert and the master blender. Then there is Marlene Holmes, who is actually a Kentucky veteran and a master distiller. So your 3 core people are all females.
This nose is like maraschino cherries. Holy crap.
Which you actually hit the nail on the head with that one. And then you have Jordan Osborne, who is their chief brewer. Between all 4 of them, they have over 60 years of experience, which is awesome. The entire company is independently owned and operated and is the only one in the USA to be independently owned and operated. I never even knew that.
Not to interrupt you, do you see how oily this is?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, like, I don't... Will they see this on the camera?
They should. Hold it right there.
Like, right there? I don't know if you can see this. Like, I have never seen...
It's oily.
It's not in a bad way, but...
No.
All right, keep continuing. Sorry.
So they use their very own proprietary yeast recipe, which
prostitutionary
is
blends.
Yeah, it's a prostitutionary yeast recipe. No, they use a proprietary yeast recipe, which means it's their very own yeast recipe. No one else uses it. They have a 300-gallon copper pot still in Texas, and they also have a multiple classic column stills in Bardstown, Kentucky. I'll get to why that's important in just a minute. They age and batch vintage whiskeys from various states, and then they blame
other people for their...
I can't speak. Blend them with their own distillate, which is really cool. And then everything is blind proof.
They do it like High West does that too.
Yeah, High West does.
Yeah.
It's blind proof, hand bottled, and labeled every single whiskey that they make.
On this?
So that's 83?
86 or 43%.
86, 43%. Okay, so I love
the packaging on this.
It's a really cool
so Milam and Green, if you actually do see this episode, we're going to tag you on Instagram, obviously. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you watch it Friday morning at 9 o'clock. Your packaging is amazing. I really love it.
Yep. So a little bit about this bottle in particular. First of all their single barrels come from one barrel, 153-gallon barrel, and that produces about 280 bottles. So there are only 280 bottles in the world of this particular batch number and barrel. A lot. I mean, they're not the only single barrel to do that, but it's pretty cool. I mean, to know that this is only one of 280.
I think it's. I would call it. It's not rare by, like, inability to get it. It's rare by the amount that I think they're actually able to produce.
Yes. So it's rare in the essence. Like, if you want this particular batch, which is 461, you'll probably never find it again after this year once it's
There's distilleries that do that too, where it changes every time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Smoke Wagon does that with their uncut and filtered, where one batch is one style, one flavor you only get one time. So it's a unique experience, and it makes it the drive to get it a little harder.
Oh yeah. So this year's barrel, it actually comes from Tennessee, and it's won numerous double gold awards, as Dan showed you earlier with their spirit thing. Like I just mentioned, it's batch number 461. It comes in at 86 proof, and divide that by 2, you get 43% alcohol. There's a little bit of math for you guys. Take proof, divide it by 2, and that's how you find
got your answer. But all right, so we should probably talk about the whiskey.
Whiskey's phenomenal.
All right,
you hit the nose on the head.
Yeah,
with the cherries.
So nose is maraschino cherry. Palate is just it's like candied fruits.
Okay.
Really, really easy drinking, really smooth. It's 86, as I said, 86 proof, so it's not gonna rock your world.
No.
But it also leads to it also being very clean.
It is.
Very smooth and very accessible.
And being such light proof and not super heavy on the alcohol there, I did mention this to Dan earlier over the weekend. You can actually pair this with a very light-bodied cigar. It'd be a great cigar.
I think that'll definitely accent some of these like really nice like fruity flavors.
Yeah. But you really did hit the nail on the head with with the nose and the palate, because the nose they list on their website as almond, cherry, and vanilla, and then the palate you said was
like candied fruit.
Candied fruit, they list it as creamy and rich.
Okay.
So like it's
close enough.
They actually hit it spot on, and so did you with how they describe it.
But all right, this is the first time we've done 4 whiskeys in a while. We got 4 whiskeys, so we really kind of trucked through this tonight.
Yeah.
So next one is probably one of my favorite distilleries in the world, next to High West. That's not a bourbon distillery. So this is Balcones. Balcones was the first Texas distillery since Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
And Baby Blue is the first whiskey made in Texas since Prohibition.
Such a good whiskey.
So in 2008, the Balcones idea was conceptualized. In 2009, they started distilling. And then a year later, Garrison Brothers started distilling. So Garrison Brothers and Balcones are the 2 oldest Texas distilleries currently operating.
Yep.
So let's get into the Baby Blue first.
Definitely.
So we're gonna talk and drink as we do this. Mike and I have had this before, so we'll just touch on some of the palate and the nose and palate.
Yeah, all 3 of these we've had before. This was the newest guy, so we had a lot of.
We just did Garrison Brothers Honeydew, so we're probably not gonna really go into it too much. But
the only reason I brought this one is because it's the only Garrison Brothers we both have. They're not cheap by any standard, by any means in Jersey. I mean, it's even your regular old Garrison was like $75 a bottle. So it's not your casual pickup. Let's just put it that way.
We weren't really gonna go and do that for the episode, so we already had a Garrison Brothers, so we figured just so Garrison Brothers had representation, since it did win Best Texas Bourbon in 2019 by Jim Murray, we kind of had to show it. But all right, Balcones head distiller is Jim. I think it's him. Jim Himstead. Sorry, Jim Himstead. Sorry, it's hard to say. And the Baby Blue is made of heirloom blue corn, which is from New Mexico. And essentially what Balcones' main mission is to use the best ingredients you can possibly use and to emphasize flavor. That's their big thing. They want big flavor with minimal aging.
I don't know if it's just a little bit of the remnants of the Milliman Green in here, or the fact that it's just been open and aerated, but I'm getting a lot of dark roasted coffee notes on this.
Yeah, it's actually what it says online. It's
dark roasted coffee.
It's more dark. It's like nutty.
Nutty. Okay, nutty too. Yeah, but dark roasted, that's what I get, and it's phenomenal because I love black coffee and I love that espresso taste. It's a phenomenal bottle. If you ever see it in the stores, highly recommend picking that one up.
Let's get a little water in here.
Give a little rinse and do.
Because we're going to go to the lineage next, which the lineage is a Texas single malt. So it's going to be half Texas grown barley, half Scottish grown barley.
Oh, shit.
And
sorry.
It gives it a really unique flavor. Like I said, we're big fans of all of these, so whether you're questioning or not, whether you should buy this, I would highly recommend buying all of these. Good luck getting the honeydew. It's hard to get right now.
We will feature the other bottles eventually on here. It's just we fund this entire operation personally, so we can't be we have other expenses in life to take care of, as any adult does. So we can't be balling out constantly.
Oh yeah, so there we go. There is the Baby Blue.
Yep.
And actually, Jim Himstead got Master Distiller of the Year off that one. I think it was 2019. But regardless, there's some accolades behind it. It's good whiskey. Buy it. I definitely support it.
I do too. I think it's funny because the name like doesn't ring Texas, but it's
Jared.
Texas bottle.
Not Jim. Jared Hempstead.
We are just killing names tonight.
Sorry.
We are slaughtering names tonight.
I was just slaughtering names. Sorry, I am sorry, Jared, if somehow you see this, that is my bad.
And I'm sorry, Malam
Green. All right, so this one, the nose comes off immediately sweeter.
Oh, wait, wow. Ooh, cinnamony too. Sweet.
Yeah,
and
cinnamon.
spicy.
Yeah, and then the palate is not that.
It's actually very like holiday scent. You ever like walk in like a Christmas store, and it smells like
it's nothing like it's like paprika or no, not
cardamom,
paprika.
cinnamon.
What's the crap you get in a basket around
Potpourri?
Christmas? Potpourri, very potpourri like.
Yeah,
but the palate is very blended Scotch. Get a little of that smoke, get a little butterscotch, get a little candy,
little fruit,
but it's very easy drinking.
Oh yeah, I love it. I need to buy a bottle of this one. I really do.
And they're not crazy expensive. So like Milliman Green, how much did you pay for that?
That one I paid. You'll probably find on the shelf for about $45 to $50.
And then the Balcones are $45 to $50 a bottle.
Yep.
They're pretty similar. Pricing on the Honeydew, I think you said was probably going to see around $80 on the shelf. If you do buy
it. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I bought it for, but what it normally goes for is between that 70, 80 range on the shelf typically. That's where you'll probably see it. Which is actually pretty lined price with their other bottles because even their other two are in the 70 range.
Like the small batch will go for 75 to 80, and then you have like it starts with a B. It's 115 proof. It's actually the one that got best whiskey in Texas from the Jim Murray Whiskey Bible. I don't know how to say it, but it's the 115 proof, and then they have the Laguna Madre and.
Yep. Now let us be explicit here. Like these prices are in the Jersey market. For all we know, this could be a lot cheaper in Texas if you're in Texas.
Oh, it definitely is cheaper in Texas. 100%. It's going to be cheaper in Texas, but our taxes are through the freaking roof here.
Yeah, our taxes, everything. So these are just Jersey prices for our Jersey viewers.
But and once again, I apologize to Jared. I called you Jim for the first 2 times. I took bad notes. But I love your whiskey.
I haven't had this since we had it last time.
Yeah, so we're going to dip into the...
I'm pretty excited. I'm going to get a little rinse
into the Honeydew here, which Mike explained that he does not like the name, but he does like the whiskey.
The only reason I don't like the name is because I think...
You can get that cork back in. I'm not doing that again.
I know. Okay, so that's the other thing about this bottle.
Be careful how hard you slam it on the table.
I know. I can't confirm with their other bottles, but I'm assuming the other ones are the same way. They have a great friggin' seal on their bottles. I mean, this...
I wish I could smell better right now. My nose is so clogged up. Like the fact that I could get maraschino cherry out of the Milliman Green, I'm actually surprised.
It's just not going easy. There we go. Okay. I've even had Dan try to recork that. It is...
I basically...
We're not acting.
Countertop. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's a solid seal.
It's just about as bad as Basil Hayden is to get off. Basil Hayden has the thinnest cork topper, and it's so hard to...
I just sipped nothing but water. I forgot to pour mine.
Review. It's good.
And
I feel like it's like in The Ringer where they're like, it's like, tell me any movie. All right, Jaws. Great freaking movie. I think that's how we should just review whiskey from now on. Or it's just like, hey guys, what do you think of Milliman Green? Really good whiskey. Balcones.
Really
pretty
good.
Damn good. Garrison. It's good too. Yeah. Okay.
Still sweet. It hasn't changed. The nose hasn't changed.
No, it's solid. We're not really going to go into it. Like I said, I referenced the Jim Murray Whiskey Bible.
The honey came out more.
Exactly. Back in 2019, he collected, I think it was 100 different whiskey enthusiasts in a Holiday Inn conference room. Mm-hmm. And they had 1,000 samples of whiskey. There's 11 distilleries. And after all the sampling was done, him explaining to everybody how they have to sample the whiskey. Each sample takes 5 minutes to go through. You do the math, 100 different samples.
Oh my God.
By 5 minutes. Takes a long time. But after all this is said and done, obviously I'm paraphrasing this long article I read, Garrison Brothers and Balcones stood alone. It was the Garrison Brothers 115 proof, and it was a Balcones True Blue, which we do not have either here. Good luck. The True Blue you can always get. Yeah. Good luck finding the 115 proof in New Jersey. Yeah, the Garrison Brothers won out. They're 2 of the older modern distilleries in Texas.
Nice.
So,
well, now I want to find that bottle.
There's your pedigree for these. Texas whiskey is really solid quality product.
Yeah, Texas is bringing the heat lately.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
Yes, I mean, you're right.
Including flavor.
But they are really bringing the heat to the bourbon game and the whiskey game right now. So Kentucky, Tennessee, watch out.
Watch your backs,
you got
right,
competition.
Guys? For everybody who watches, thank you again. Please subscribe, comment, and like the video. And go try yourself some Texas whiskey.
Cheers.
Cheers.